Anna is a woman. Anna is a woman.
You know, if you take that out of context, it makes me sound powerful, so I kind of like it. Anna is a woman.
Anna is a woman. I love that. Anna. All right, Anna's here. We're switching gears. We did a lot of financial talk today. Instead, right now, we're going to talk to a Playboy model, a verifiable, certifiable. I don't know if it's certifiable. Sydney, we'll have to ask her if she's ever been certified. But a real, honest-to-goodness Playboy model, Sydney Moon, joins us on the program. Sydney, welcome to the Young Turks.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Well, we're very excited to have you. I understand that you're a listener of the show.
Yes, I'm a member. I've been a member for several years now, and this is really huge for me. I mean, it couldn't be more huge if I were on any other show. So
That's amazing. All right. So you all know, Sydney's been in Playboy, Wet and Wild, Slippery When Wet, which makes sense. Things are slippery when wet. Playboy, Girls of Hedonism, Runaway Bay, Jamaica, Playboy, Wet and Wild, Live, and Playboy, No Boys Allowed 100% girls, too. Okay, I'm in favor of that. I want to ask you about that a little later. All right, now we know that that's what you've done, right? But let's back up. I'm curious as to where you grew up and how you grew up.
Well, I'm from Berkeley, so needless to say, my parents aren't too upset about my career choice. But I grew up in a very liberal household, so that's obviously the start of my interest in politics, and just grew huge boobs and decided to go make some money off of them. So there you go.
Well, it's perfectly rational. So now, I did not live in that kind of environment, so I'm always, and I think a lot of people didn't, so they're always a little struck by it. Really, your parents are like, oh, yeah, Playboy, 100% girls. They're totally fine with it.
Well, one thing is, now I have done stuff that's a little more hardcore than Playboy, though not what people would consider to be hardcore porn, although I guess it's however you want to think of it individually. But my mom actually went out and bought a whole bunch of the magazines I was in and showed them to her friends and stuff, the Playboy ones, the pretty tame ones. So, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's
now, I don't tell my older relatives and stuff. I'm going to keep it on the down low there, but...
Has an uncle ever come by and be like, hey, Sydney, I saw you.
No, that would be really weird. Yeah.
It would indeed. Yes, Anna?
First of all, let me say, I think it's totally awesome that you had that type of support system growing up. But also, I read about your bio, and you're really educated. You have a master's in psychology, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about how this developed then, right? So you attended NYU, right, and you get a master's in clinical psychology. Had you started, quote-unquote, modeling at that point, or did it come later?
Well, before I was getting naked in pictures, I was a stripper. I was a stripper for many years, and actually my first time stripping, I was still in high school, but I was 18. And so it was just, at that point, a way to get through school, because I had chosen a career path that's very lengthy, and I didn't come from a lot of money, so it just seemed like the thing to do. And then I think it was while I was in graduate school, I was dancing at a club, and some scout came in for Playboy.
Oh, okay, I got you. And at that point, were you still back in Berkeley, or had you gone to New York?
I was in L.A. at that time. Yeah, that was after. I went to NYU for undergrad, and then I went to graduate school in Southern California, and was just stripping and didn't really plan on having a website or anything like that. But the scout found me, and since it was Playboy, of course, I was just like, let's go, because I never really, even then I didn't think I was going to do so much magazine and online work, but...
Right. And now Sydney, of course, has this website, sydneymoon.com, which I understand has your pictures on it. That's what I'm given to understand.
Yes. Well, you probably know personally because I gave you that backstage pass.
Let's be cool.
Backstage pass. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Sydney? I'm very interested in knowing about that.
No, look, some people offer me shirts because they make shirts, right? Some people offer me whatever, right? And Sydney, that's her website, so she's like, "Do you want a backstage pass?" That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
What does the Backstage Pass offer for those who are interested in purchasing it for the future?
Well, it was, free for Jenk, of course. It was free access to the inside of my website, which has all my pictures and my videos and stuff. And but I don't really think it was a fair exchange because I've been paying for my membership to the Young Turks now for years. And here I give you a free Backstage Pass. I mean, where's mine? I guess this is mine right now. So this is a big deal to me to be talking to you guys.
No, you're great, Sydney, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the Backstage Pass, too. So when you were at NYU, were you also stripping or no?
Yes.
And did the other students at NYU know or no?
Well, my girlfriend at the time was also a dancer, and my friends did know. I mean, most of the people that I socialize with tend to be fairly open-minded. So if somebody was going to be really judgmental or rude to me, it's not somebody who I would choose to spend time with. If it doesn't work for them, like I know Anna wouldn't get naked under any circumstances, and I totally respect that, provided you can be cool to somebody who does, at least their face, so,
right.
Yeah.
So the other people didn't bother you or whatever?
Not really, and, you just kind of have to, people are going to say things, people are going to say things and think things, but they're not going to pay your bills, and...
Yeah. No, absolutely. So did you ever wind up becoming a therapist, or did you decide this is so damn lucrative, what am I doing here? This is, basically too easy.
Well, I mean, let's face it, nobody's getting any younger, and my time is limited in this, unless I want to do, GILF porn or something. But I don't know. I don't know about that.
GILF is a bit much, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't like to go into too much detail about that aspect, but let's say that I achieved a high level of accomplishment in that field, and certainly whatever I want to do, I can do. Right now, my site is up. That's what I'm doing. Once I settle down long term in a living situation, I'll probably pursue other things.
And of course, the website's SydneyMoon.com. It's really simple. Sydney, last couple of things here. Where are you now? Which city are you in? Oh, are you uncomfortable with that?
No, it's just that I am a little anonymous for some reasons, but
okay.
I'm not in California. I'm not in California anymore.
Okay.
Otherwise, believe me, I'd so be there. And I'd be hitting on you, except I wouldn't want to get strike back from Wendy.
Well, you really do listen to the show. There's no question about that. All right, and finally, I wanted to ask you one more thing. Basically, I got distracted by the fact that you'd come in here. That would have been good.
Especially since you'd be hitting her.
Can I get a tour of the studio if I'm ever in L.A.?
Look, you gave me the Backstage Pass, right? So the least we can do is give you a studio tour. And if Wendy's watching, don't worry, everybody will be here, okay? And, that's what I was going to ask you. So, Sydney, I know you're, very politically oriented, and obviously that's part of the reason that you enjoy the show. Do you ever date a Republican, or do you think, no, that's off bounds, or you find out in the middle of a date a guy is? Does that turn you off? What's your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. I couldn't see myself getting serious with a Republican because I just am too opinionated about things like that. Surprise, I'm a fan of yours, right? Opinionated. But I think left-wing people are better in bed,
Oh.
I mean, that's kind of what I think in general. So, God, see, now I'm completely alienating the half of my fans or whatever that are conservative. But which I pretty much already have done that because I'm very publicly a liberal.
Yeah, I don't think the conservatives are going to turn it off anyway. Trust me. I mean, if anything, they'll be like, oh, yeah, look at this lib chick, SydneyMoon.com. In fact, let me look at her a little longer. Okay, so don't worry about that. And they're like the biggest pervs of all time. So you have nothing to worry about in that regard. But it's interesting. You said that the liberals are better in bed. Why? Like more uninhibited or something?
Maybe more uninhibited. I think, rich people have a reason to be Republicans in some ways. And people who aren't extremely wealthy who are Republicans are just sort of confused or something. And I think that kind of confusion doesn't make for a really good, authentic sexual situation.
Huh.
I don't know.
Oh, that's also interesting, because I've thought about that too before. Like rich people, I get it. They got an incentive to be Republican, right? Mm-hmm. But everybody else, if you can't grasp that, what else can't you grasp? I know it's a little unfair, right? It's a little unfair, and of course people disagree with us, and I get that too. But it's an interesting point, and certainly from an authoritative source in this case. So. Everybody, check out SydneyMoon.com. We love you for listening to the show and for being a member and for coming on, Sydney. Really appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much, Cenk. I don't ever miss a show, and thanks again.
All right. We love that. So, okay, in fact, because of that, go buy a backstage pass at SydneyMoon.com.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Take care, Sydney.
Thanks.
All right. We'll be right back.